right. Yeah, ready to rock and roll.
Yeah.
So this is what you're gonna be doing. You're gonna be eating on the man. I intentionally ate earlier so I wouldn't be eating on here. And look at you.
Can you hear me eat?
Huh?
Can
I
you
can
hear
see
me?
you eat.
You can see me eat, but can you hear me eat?
What are you eating?
I have the
on these lost
courtesy of muting.
On these lost episodes, they're gonna be seeing you eating.
We're not releasing this video. I am eating.
I put a shirt on specifically for the video.
Right, but
you can
also,
take it off if you want to.
I
Don't threaten me
mean,
with a good time.
or why don't we all just chill out? Because on today's episode, we're talking about Earwig and the Witch with our first guest. You're listening to We Used to Talk About This at Work. So we have our first guest of the show. Matt, how are we feeling about this?
I'm feeling good. I'm glad they are our first guest because they are one of the first. They're one of the first people that I met when we used to work. So it's good that they're one of our first guests.
Fair enough.
Happy to be here. Yeah. Do you want to ask me how I'm feeling? I'm feeling really excited to be chosen as the first one.
I mean, I really wouldn't pat myself on the head that much.
I am. Just let me have this moment.
It was all about availability, all right? I have to, humble you.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Maybe this should be more than a one-time thing. It's more than a one-night stand for sure.
We got to see how this feels. See what the fans look. They might want them back.
I mean,
right. I mean, it feels good already.
We're a minute in, and it's like this is already devolving into chaos.
That makes good content.
So, as Anna has said, Anna used to work with us. So, why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, I worked with Chad first back in 2013. I was freshly pregnant with my third kid, and I didn't really have any friends at work because, I was still kind of brand new myself. And then Chad came to work, and we ended up hitting off real quick, made a joke probably about Pokemon or something. And from there, we became kind of like work besties and worked together for how many years at this point? It seems like forever. But
I think 2 years initially in that first department, maybe like a year and a half, maybe.
Yeah. And then but through moves and job changes and changing to go on to a different job, because you have to make more money somewhere. We no longer work together. But with Matt, there was this cute guy that was over on the other side of the building, and hey. But no, it turns out that Matt and I had actually worked at the same place twice, and so that was pretty exciting. And so he ended up working with my then husband, and I would just go over to hang out and say hey, and that's how we became friends.
So I'm just gonna jump in for a second, even though you're done talking. So yeah, so funny enough, we also worked with your husband. So that was kind of funny and weird at the same time, we couldn't really trash talk you because he was around,
Even if you had, he wouldn't have said anything. He would have been like, and gone right back to work.
Who knows?
Right.
So, Anna, do you remember how you first met Matt?
I think probably my husband at the time said, did you know this guy used to work where we used to work? That and it was not a good place to work, but and so out of solidarity, just kind of started to get to know him. And Matt's got this really infectious, funny laugh that I could just listen to on repeat all day long. And so I think probably his laugh started making me giggle. And, once that happened, then, he got to know me, and he was your friend and you were my friend. So probably just being around, it's, just being with you guys made it so that we were friends.
That makes sense.
Yes, I remember meeting Nana. It's when I was on my training team. Her ex-husband, I went over there to ask him a question about work stuff, and they were over there. That's my first recollection of actually seeing them. But I think when it started to like friendship, it had to be once you left
Once I
and
left.
when you went upstairs,
Oh, okay. So
because then
at
they were
one
upstairs
point, I
too.
went to a different department in our
Yes.
previous job.
Yes. So then once you guys were together, then it was that's when me and Anna, because I will come up there and I'll come up there and talk to you, and they will be there, and then it kind of just gelled from there.
Yeah.
Okay, I have a good one. So Matt would come up to the area where Chad and I were working, and the thing about Matt is that he'll have a thought and he's gonna just stew in it for hours and have a whole conversation with himself in his head, and then come up to us and be like, I've been thinking about this, and then we would talk about it and he'd be like, actually, I do see your point of view on this. And then even though he had this whole conversation with himself and how he thought we would respond, we would respond not how he would think we would. And so that was always really fun, because you never knew what Matt was going to say or where his stories would go. And sometimes, it's just fun to hear about, when you used to do this and you used to do that, and kind of, getting to know people and how they have changed over time. But at the same time, like you can see how their base personality is basically the same.
Right, because I'm never like one that's gonna be stuck in my ways. I mean, I have a thought, and if new information is provided to me and it makes sense, I have no problem changing my mind.
I
Right. And
mean,
I've seen that plenty of times.
that's just a healthy individual, right?
Matt, you're healthy.
I appreciate it, even though I do a lot of that drinking, so my liver might not be healthy, but I think everything else is good.
2 out of 3 ain't bad.
Right.
Lot of bad habits you have there, man.
Yes.
But a lot of good ones too.
Yes.
Oh no, I was trying to call Matt out for something else, but
Oh,
I'm not gonna put you out there like that.
but
Well,
Matt,
if you
I
could you tell I was about to say that and I had to switch it to something else just for people who will listen to this podcast.
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about something that people do in Europe and in Asian countries.
No, that's exactly what I'm talking about.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Wait, the thing I did yesterday, right?
I don't know what you did yesterday.
Wait,
I'm just talking about the cigarettes.
that's what I was talking about.
Oh, okay.
That's exactly what I said. I said the thing that I did yesterday, the thing you saw me do yesterday.
I didn't see you do anything yesterday.
Remember? Oh, you didn't see me when that's the whole reason why I brought my laptop outside when we was doing.
I just thought you wanted some air.
Nah, that's the reason why.
All right. Okay, so I didn't. All right, just for the record, I didn't. No, this whole thing's getting cut out anyway.
No,
But
you
yeah.
keep it in there. Keep it in there. And now we're on it. Yes, I used to smoke cigarettes when I joined the Navy. I didn't smoke, and then I started smoking when I joined the Navy. Smoked all through the Navy. I quit in 2012. I come back to Japan where I was in the Navy, and I started smoking again.
I'm not surprised though, because when I was in Japan, everybody was smoking there.
Yes, and that's what it was. Because when I first got to Japan, I was staying with my wife's parents and her brother, and everybody smokes. Well, not her mother, but her whole family smokes and everything like that. So it was kind of like, when you in Rome, you do as a Romans.
But
So
you're in Japan, so you gotta,
do as any Hongians.
that's true. But I do see that you're drinking, but I'm assuming that that's apple juice and not beer.
Oh no, it's too early for beer. This is the world famous apple juice in Japan, and I've been trying to tell people who haven't experienced it how good this apple juice is. It's kind of like, in the States, you will have watermelon flavored drinks, and it kind of tastes like watermelon flavored. Here, all their flavors taste actually like the fruit themselves. Like if
Yeah.
for their watermelon drinks, it tastes like actual bite into a watermelon. Was kind of like watery. It's not that flavorful. That's what their watermelon tastes like. And this apple juice, it tastes like you biting into an apple. It's hard to explain, but once you had the taste of it, you're like, okay, this is what apple juice is supposed to taste like.
Yes, I went to Japan when I was 15 to visit my sister, and the biggest things that I got out of that trip were one, going to the Poke Center in Tokyo, and two, getting to taste the Japanese apple juice from random vending machines that were all over the place, and Japanese Pepsi in a 16-ounce aluminum can. And it was the best thing I've ever had in my entire life. And I wish that I could just have that apple juice anytime I wanted because it was like taking a bite of an apple, except it was in, a drink form. It was really exciting, and I come back to the United States and it's just met with disappointment.
Yes. Yes,
I
it
was
is.
I was about to be snarky and be like, why don't you just go back? But it's 2021 and the world is upside down.
Right.
And it's expensive to fly.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it is. It is expensive to go to Japan, huh?
Yes.
Well, when I win the
So,
lottery, even though I don't play the lottery, I'm gonna go see you in Japan, Matt. So just stay there for a couple more years, and we'll work something out.
all right. I got a couple more years.
I mean,
So you
that's
just just
that's
just invest in some of that Dodge coin and then make that come up.
that's right. On we used to talk about this at work. We also give you stock tips.
Yes. Invest all your money in Dogecoin. All right. I'm not a licensed legal person.
I thought it was Dogecoin
It,
because it's like the meme Doge, not
what
Dodge.
what meme, Doge?
There's
The
it's a
dog that's
dog.
like much happy, crazy, like it's a Shiba Inu dog that it says weird phrasing, being like, I don't know, but that's what it is. Dogecoin, after
I
this
thought
dog
I know
meme.
I know the exact meme you're talking about, but I thought it was Dodge. I never heard anybody actually verbally say it. You could
It's
be right.
Doge. It's
Oh,
Doge.
I've
okay.
never heard of this, whatever this meme is you're talking about.
Yes, you've seen it a million times. It's a okay, so you know the meme where it's a big buff dog and then the little sad weepy dog next to it? That's
Maybe.
Doge,
Okay.
a form of that meme.
Well, I'm gonna have to trust you on that one. So, Anna, can you tell us what you've been working on this week? What you've been doing?
Well, probably doing a lot of things, but probably let's go with I did a couple of craft projects and played some tabletop games. Um, but for my projects, I have been working on this massive Mario Brothers tapestry. Like when I say tapestry, it's probably 3 feet by 2 feet. It's gigantic. And of course, I'm like, hey, Chad, look, I've been making progress on this tapestry. And what does Chad say to me?
Looks like the overworld from Mario World, Super Mario World. So I'm like, okay, that's cool. I mean, so
Yeah, what
that's a
level is
thing you're
that?
doing. Yeah,
Yeah, no, it's not that, but it's really cool and it's going to be super cool. And you're going to be jealous whenever it's done in like 15 years because it's going to take forever. But
who
I'll
is
keep
that?
you updated.
Is that and that's just for you?
Yeah, unless somebody wants to buy it, but it's going to be really expensive if they do.
Gotcha. Okay.
I'm not gonna
But
lie. First time I saw it, I did think it was a map too.
you, I know. Well, it's my fault, my bad, because I started with blue and then changed to a different shade of blue. So eventually I
Mhm.
changed to red, and it's starting to come up to together, but it's going to take forever. And I told Chad that it's probably going to be at least like a year, especially because like there's times when I just take off for like a week or two and don't want to look at it. But I'm going to do my best to get it done as soon as possible.
What made you want to start doing it?
Um, I wanted something to do. So I have been doing what crafting, cross stitching for at least 6+ years at this point, and I really like Mario things. They like make me happy. And like you got me that Mario hoodie in Japan, and like I kind of want to decorate my house with more Mario things. I have vinyl stickers up in my kid's bathroom.
Mhm.
So it's kind of a dream to have like a nerd themed house if I can have one.
Mhm.
So why not? I can help add to it.
And
And
you mentioned something about tabletop games.
yeah, so big into Munchkin lately, a lot of Munchkin.
What is
And
Munchkin?
Munchkin is a game where you put cards out and like you have to like open dungeons and you can like add items to yourself to give you a bonus and then you can defeat monsters. and you get up to level 10 and you win. And you can have any number of players, but you need at least 3.
Is this a tabletop
And
game or is it on the
yeah,
system?
it's a tabletop game. And so there's a lot of like ones that have come out recently. I bought two of them recently, the Disney version and the Critical Role D&D version. And the Disney version is really, really fun. It was way more fun than like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle ones that I got. And the cool thing about the Disney one is that there's like a Disney magic aspect of it, where that you can quote movie or TV show lines or like sing and hum any songs or jingles from any like Disney, Pixar, Star Wars, anything of the Disney brand, and you can get extra bonus points added to it. So naturally I won because I know the most Disney trivia out of everyone. And but then we played the D&D version 1 and it was fun. It was more fair to everybody, who like more evenly balanced. But my 9-year-old daughter won that one, so it wasn't as exciting. But a lot of stuff lately. My partner's really into D&D and Critical Role. That's why we bought that Munchkin. And well, I don't really like D&D like at all. One thing that was kind of cool is that there's a character from Sophia the First, which is a Disney show that I really like. And the king on that show is one of the voice actors who is part of this Critical Role podcast that my partner listens to.
Okay, let's pause for a second, because in the pre-show you said you didn't listen to podcasts.
I don't. My partner does.
Are you listening to? So does your partner listen to these podcasts in the car while you're in the car?
No, he listens to them while he works.
Oh.
And sometimes I might be in the same room kind of in there, but I'm not listening. Like it's like these are like hour-long things and they have so many episodes that there's no way that I'm going to catch up or want to really pay any interest to it. But knowing that there's a person that voices a character that I think is kind of interesting is about where it stops for my interest. And, you know, that's fine. But one thing that I did play also recently, like this week, was Sorry. You guys ever play Sorry? You know, like, I don't know if it's Milton Bradley or whatever it is.
Yeah. Sorry, you hit me, I hit you back.
Yeah.
Wait, I've heard. Wait, what was that jingle? I've played Sorry. I've never heard that jingle before.
It was on the commercials in the 90s.
The only thing I remember is like the nasally sorry, because my big sister would never have any remorse or anything whenever she would knock my piece out. And so I played it with a couple of adults and one of my kids, and that game actually is really, really fun as an adult, more so now. Like if you know you're not trying to be competitive, you just kind of want to play it. It was neat because well, I was used to the board being like of the early 90s, late 80s. Now it was a brand new Sorry game. Like we opened it up out of the package, and some stuff like I have the retro battleships game. That's really fun because I really like the retro look on it. But this new game for Sorry, it was the design was whatever. But overall, it was really super fun. And like if you have a chance to play Sorry, I suggest it because it was really fun. And
I
then
haven't played any tabletop games. I think the last time I played a tabletop game was Monopoly, maybe. Last time I was at home.
Like in America?
So, yeah. Because like here, they don't have, I mean, I shouldn't say they don't. Here, they play a lot of card games, not like tabletop games.
Oh, that makes sense. But I'm not gonna lie, if I see any sort of like Disney type game, tabletop game, trivia game, Monopoly, I'm totally gonna buy it. I may not ever play it for the life of me, but I know that it's gonna sit there on the shelf and it's gonna look really pretty, mint condition on the shelf. And if anybody says, "Do you have this game?" I can say yes, but I've never played it.
I don't think anyone's gonna ask that, but yes.
You might.
I was looking this up while you was talking about the Munchkin thing. They have a Rick and Morty one too.
They do. I have not gotten that one yet, but it seems really could be really, really fun. And some of the cool things is like some of the earlier Munchkins that have come out, you can actually mix the packs together to make an expansion pack, and they have lots of expansion packs that you can do for things. I have an Adventure Time Munchkin that's really fun, and it turns out there was an expansion for that I did not get whenever the initial release of the game came out. I looked it up on like eBay yesterday, and it's like $178 to get online. I was like, oh no, it's cute, but it's not that cute.
It's
Right.
called a collector's item. You just said you have a collection, so just spend the
Yeah,
money.
if it's going to be within a good price range and available at my fingertips,
So yeah, asking
or
for
an
too
impulse
much
buy
now.
at the store. But yeah, but that was me this week. What have you guys been up to?
Well,
I've been
oh,
starting to work out. My neighbor above me, he just got deployed and he has a home gym. So now I've been going up to the gym upstairs to, get right for the beach time. I don't want to be one of those guys in the ocean swimming with my shirt on. So I'm trying to get right.
so you're breaking into your neighbor's apartment. Gotcha.
You ain't got to break in when they give you the key.
Fair enough. All right, so it's about to be hot boy summer for you, man. I can
I'm gonna
respect
be out
that.
here wilding in the ocean. Because hopefully by then this COVID stuff, these restrictions will be lifted up and I can go out here and do my thing.
We can all hope so.
Yes.
You been getting into anything else this week?
No, just like we talked about on last week's episode. I've been watching some more Snowpiercer, some Vikings, and also I just saw this new show. I don't know if it's new, but it's new for me. This movie called Marksman with Liam Neeson in it. It was pretty good.
This is another one where he's an old grizzled man with a set of skills.
Yes, he's a marksman, Marine Corps marksman, and he has to. Well, I ain't gonna spoil it just in case we might do a podcast about it. So,
So he's a
but yeah,
Marine Corps man with an Irish accent.
no, he's another one of those Idris Elba people. They can get the American accent on.
Man, every single movie Liam Neeson has been in, he's been Irish. He's been an Irish Jedi. He's been an Irish man in what China training Batman. Like
He played a bad cop and a good cop in Lego Movie.
that is true. And Irish, like the man does not know how to do an accent outside of his native tongue.
Well, he needed to get in touch with Idris Elba then and get him so he can get him right.
So Marksman. Okay, this is a movie, not a show, right?
Yeah, movie.
And you saw this on Japanese Netflix?
No, I saw it on bootleg, and
No, Matt, no.
what?
Why are you making me edit this?
No, but I can't. We can just say that I saw it on bootleg. That's why I had to do a little cough ahead of time.
Okay.
I thought that was the whole point that you got the cough bootleg cough.
Right. You're killing me with these edits.
Man, just play it back. Let's see how it sounds. Nah, let's just play it. All right, we'll just. So, Chad, what have you been up to this week?
So I went out, guys. Today, so this weekend is my wife's birthday. Tomorrow, actually. So for her birthday, we got a sitter and we went out and we sat in a restaurant and ate food. And I don't know, it's like because of the way we've had to live this last year or so, like the little things they really hit you. The last time I sat in a restaurant was August of last year, and a friend like took me out to lunch, because we had a baby and everything. But beyond that, the last time I was inside of a restaurant was before lockdown. So it was really nice just to sit down, be around people, even though we were socially distanced, and just have a meal. It was nice. I got a little too excited when we were talking and laughing and such. And I started coughing because I was choking, and it's 2021. You can't be coughing in public.
They like, he got the vid.
So yeah, it wasn't a good look for me. So
What did you eat?
We went to Sugar Fire. It's a
Oh yeah,
barbecue restaurant.
we have one of those here.
Yeah, they're like all over the place. They're big little St. Louis area franchise. So, nothing special, just pulled pork sandwich and fries. But it was
Yeah, that's what
good.
I got. I think I got a pie shake or something when I went.
A pie shake.
Yeah, they have like pies that you can like put into like an ice cream thing and make it into some sort of like shake or float.
That is interesting.
Yeah. I don't remember it though. I just remember I got it.
Also, this is a big week for us because my daughter started daycare Monday. So this is like her first full week of daycare. And honestly, I was the most stressed person about it in the house. Like my daughter didn't know what was going on. And my wife was like, this is good. So we both went to drop her off. And like the little coordinator lady was waiting at the door because of COVID, you can't actually go into the daycare. So we hand her off to the lady, and my daughter's like super chill. And I'm like, why are you chill? Like you aren't used to being around people. But the woman was wearing like a lanyard and she's never seen one of those. So she instinctively just went to grab it and play with it. And I'm like, this is cool. But then we left and some daycares they send you like pictures of like what your child is doing. And the very first picture, she's just like covered in tears. So I'm like, okay.
Oh, that's so sad.
But by the time we picked her up, like she just looked like she'd been to war. Like she's just seen some stuff. So I'm like, cool. Sadly, it didn't help her to sleep. Like she still slept like crap. Like it was just like as if it was just a normal day that she had. She woke up twice in the night and whatever. But yeah, the only big negative thing I have about this whole daycare thing is like she's around people now, which we want, but her immune system got a real shock, so she's been kind of like sniffly.
Yeah, that's how it goes.
So it's like you can't breathe, so you're sleeping worse now. So everything with my daughter comes back to I'm sleepy.
Mm.
Yeah.
Well, they do
The
some cute notes though. Like they say like your daughter did this cute thing today,
Yeah,
or anything
like
like that.
they're like she's very smiley, and I'm like, okay, I guess. I mean, she doesn't know you, so I don't know why.
Right. She's actually grimacing the whole time because she's just like, get me out of here.
Yes, I hate all of you. Please just let me go home. I watch TV. Why isn't there a TV here?
Oh,
what made
that's
you
so
want to?
sad.
What made you want to do it now?
So before the pandemic, we actually got her into this daycare.
Mhm.
We did like a little tour like back of January last year, and she was born in June. So she was locked in January. And the plan was to take her to daycare like in August, like whenever she was like the earliest amount eligible, like 6 weeks, 8 weeks, whatever. And then the pandemic hit, and we kind of delayed that. So my mom was watching her, and like our whole thing is like we wanted her to kind of be socialized around people since COVID. She's not really around people except us.
Mhm.
So like at the start of the year we reached out and they were like, yeah, we can fit you back in April. So that's what they did. Yeah, so far, I mean, it's just been a week, but I think it's going to be a good situation for her. And I was actually kind of wondering, like, had either of you yourselves been to daycare when you were kids?
I did. I did it from ages 3 through third grade.
How was that experience?
Um, well, depending on where you went, like where I went, um, a lot of us went to that daycare for like pre-K, and then from pre-K we went on to kindergarten and elementary school, and I went with some of those kids all the way from daycare before public school even started, all the way to graduation, and so like kind of having friends like lifelong was kind of cool. Um, but other than that, like it, it just it's nice to have friends like that they're gonna be with you on certain days of the week. You can like be excited about it. It's like school before school. I know that when my kids went there, it was cool because like having gone through it myself, I know that like, hey, you're gonna have a snack and you're gonna have this, and like there's certain smells that are gonna trigger memories for you. Like I definitely had a lot of like, oh, it smells like daycare luncheon here, like, hot broccoli and chicken tenders or something. But since I did it myself when I was a little kid, I know that it can be a positive experience. So I had no problem sending my kids to do it too.
And going off that, like my son, he was in a daycare too, and the same thing to where um the same even though there was kids from other schools and a higher grades in daycare, like after school daycare. I think when we was kids, it was called like latchkey or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, so just like they said, once he has friends that's like 2 grades above him, and then the following school year, he still played with him and stuff like that. And then even this time we're um in Japan right now, same thing where he's been going to it, and he made friends outside of the school and higher grades, and as long as they still go to the daycare, he has additional friends besides the one he has at school.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I definitely had friends that were of all different ages, and even like when I went into high school, there were kids that were older that were like juniors and seniors that knew me. And so like coming in as in like an incoming freshman, you're always kind of like, oh, I'm kind of nervous about this new school. If you've got those friendships of somebody that's in a higher grade, then it's good that like you have somebody that can kind of show you the ropes, and you don't have to feel so alone.
That's cool. I mean, I was just kind of curious because me personally, I've never been to daycare. And so like, I don't know. I I appreciated that I didn't have to deal with any of that other stuff, but I feel like kind of growing up that was a hindrance to me. Just like it was kind of at times for me, it felt hard to like interact with other kids because I'm an only child.
Yeah,
So,
makes sense.
yeah.
That's what I was worried about the most about my son, because he's the only child, and for the longest time, my wife didn't work, so she was always at home.
Okay.
So we didn't pay for daycare, and that's what we was worried about till he went to daycare, or he didn't go to daycare at first. He just went to school. So when he started kindergarten, that's what I was really worried about, was he be able to function, with kids, even though like that. But yeah, he's good to go. He playing Fortnite as we speak.
With the kids from daycare.
Yeah,
That's cool.
yeah. Some from his class and some from daycare.
Okay. So I before we hop onto the movie, I want to ask a question. I guess it's more towards Anna because since you're in Japan, Matt, it's gonna be a little different. But do you eat corn pops, Anna?
I do.
So when's the last time you had some?
Oh, it's been a minute. I bought them because of the Pokemon cards. Or
Okay.
I've been buying a lot of cereal lately just because of the Pokemon cards. I bought some Golden Grams that were the retro type. Not good. It tastes like really burnt Cinnamon Toast Crunch. But Pops, I mean, probably within the last year, definitely.
I have had so we bought some corn pops maybe 2 weeks ago, and they tasted a little bit off. Like something was off. Like maybe they just sat in on the shelf a little too long. So we bought another box last week, and they taste exactly the same. And I think that they've changed the formula because they taste bitter now, at least to me.
Really? I know
Yeah.
that sometimes like they always taste kind of stale right out the box too.
So I don't know. Like corn pops are my favorite cereal, and I feel like I'm gonna have to stop eating them because I don't like the taste of them now.
Yeah.
I think you're burying the lead. First of all, why of all the cereals, why would Core Pops be your favorite? That's like saying all the cereal. You know what my favorite is? Raisin Bran.
But Raisin Bran is actually really good.
For old people.
Right.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying. So
I'm
like,
old.
has Corn Pops always been your favorite, even as a kid, or this is
Yeah.
adult you saying this?
As a kid.
Why?
See,
Where's the marshmallows and the chocolates and all that stuff?
no, no. Don't attack Chad on this because my favorite cereal of all time, Life cereal.
Wait, what? You're
Yeah,
Mikey?
yeah. Mikey likes it. It's so good. I could eat that like every single meal if given to me, and I get mad because the boxes, like you have like gigantic family sizes of these other cereals. Then Quaker's like, no, no, no. You're gonna have this tiny box. And so then I have to buy 2 boxes, and then people are gonna be like, wow, you really like that cereal? No, it's just because it only comes in these tiny boxes. But yeah, no, I really like that cereal. And like I do like marshmallow cereals. I will take, and for fruity cereals, fruity dino bites, I'm gonna have to shout out for them because delicious. I grew up on Fruity Pebbles, but then I got poor whenever I left the house. So sign me up for those big bag cereals.
You hear that sponsorship? Send us some free food.
Yeah, we'll plug anything you want.
Anything. We will prostitute ourselves for y'all.
Okay.
Maybe that was a little too far.
But the general idea still stands.
Yes.
But that's okay. So I do like marshmallow cereals. Like I like Lucky Charms. I got my wife bought me a bag of just the marshmallows, and it was a mistake.
Oh yeah. I
It-
got those Lucky Charms marshmallows at Cold Stone in a shake, and I just kind of took 2 sips and I was like, I'm done. It's just too much.
Like that turned me off to Lucky Charms for a while because I was like, you think that this, like, we all think, yeah, the marshmallows are the best part, but you need that, that cardboard brand taste to, balance it out.
Right.
Or maybe we're just old now.
I mean,
think
that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lucky Charms used to be my favorite cereal as a kid, and now, well, I don't even eat cereal like that anymore. But it's not Lucky Charms. It wouldn't be anything sweet. It'll be, I don't know. I kind of rock with Cheerios for a while.
Yeah, Cheerios are really good. The Team Cheerios or like the multigrain, those are so good.
Mhm.
Also, I was at a grocery store like a couple weeks ago, and I love Frosted Flakes, and they had Zucaritas, which is just the Spanish version of Frosted Flakes, and I was like, they're great, and so they're bueno because that was awesome. I would buy them again, and they literally are the same exact thing. It just had different packaging, but I was sold.
What's the name of it again?
Zucaritas. It's just, I guess, whatever
Zucaritas.
it stands. It's like same. It's got Tony. It was like Tonio El Tigre or something as the character, and I was like, this is amazing. And so yeah, if you see those at your Japanese grocery store, get them.
Your local Japanese
Yes,
grocery store.
I'll keep my eyes out for that.
All right, so you guys ready to do this?
I think Matt's the most ready of all of us.
So
Yes, I am.
today we're going to be talking about Earwig and the Witch.
She was witches dancing. Shameful fairy lies and gossips. Oh. Erica, you haven't ever wished a family would adopt you, have you? Nope.
An orphan girl, Earwig, is adopted by a witch and comes home to a spooky house filled with mystery and magic. So before you share your thoughts on this movie, Matt, I have to ask both of you, dubs or subs, how did you watch this?
I watched sub. I didn't know this. I wish I would have. If I would have known this was sub, I would have watched it subbed.
Me too. I watched it dubbed, and I was like, this is terrible. Everything is off.
Yeah. I didn't know there was a sub one available.
Yeah.
Fair enough. So in the outline, I wrote this out as Anna taking the lead, but Matt sent me a message as soon as he finished this movie about his feelings on it. So why don't you lead the charge?
All right. I want to get this right, so I don't want to mince words. My exact words were to you. I said this movie really upset me. Hot garbage with a GIF. And then I said, who recommended this? And you said you, and I gave you a slap GIF. I was like, why are you doing this? All right. There were so many things that was. I guess the question I want to know is, is there already a number 2 coming out?
So you want me to dive into the trivia that
then no, not yet, because the ending is something that you will see on a TV show.
Also,
I said that.
Not a movie.
So just want to remind everybody that we used to talk about this at work. We come out swinging with spoilers. So sorry.
Yeah, come on. It's episode 2. Y'all should have known that by now. But yeah, so I'm just because I just watched it like an hour ago. So yeah, it ended like a TV show, not a movie. That's first thing. And is Earwig, who is the protagonist in this movie? Because all of them are not good. Nobody is to be liked except for Thomas. Okay. And he's a cat.
Okay, so First off, every story does not have to have a likable protagonist.
Okay, well then everybody except for Thomas is trash in that movie. There's no, you know what I'm saying? There's no redeemable qualities about anybody, so there's no need. I mean, it has to be at least one person for you to quote unquote root for or get on board with. So, like me, there is no need for me to watch the second one if it comes out because there is nobody in there I'm rooting for that I want to see do good. I want all of them to go down.
Okay, so you just gonna discount Custard?
Can
You
I
was,
do my thoughts?
you,
Because
you was
I
about
feel
to
like
maybe
this
call out his
segues
name,
real
but I
good.
won't do that. Yes, Anna, you go ahead.
Okay, so first off, when Chad sent me the thing, I was like, "Oh, I'll watch it. I'll watch it. I'll watch it." So I finally watched it today. And I was like, "Oh, it's Studio Ghibli. Love that so
that
so
is why I
much."
picked this movie because I'm like, I
Right?
know you like their movies. So I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, yeah. For the Anna episode, we'll have the latest Studio Ghibli movie because we're trying to hit people with the newest movies right now, right?
Right. So first thing that came off to me was okay, it's Kiki circa 2020, 2021. Okay. Instead of it being like 80s based. And then that's where it's kind of stopped. You have the trope of the witch and the black cat. You have that with Kiki and Gigi. So I was already kind of disappointed because we already have a Studio Ghibli witch movie with a strong girl protagonist, which is what he always does or what they always do for that. But I'm gonna have to say that Erica comes off as a little bit of a psychopath, and like the whole movie, it seemed like it was like a Studio Ghibli plot with DreamWorks circa 2008 animation. I was just not here for it. Now that I know that I was watching the dub, not the subbed, it makes way more sense because I was like, this is terrible. The words are not matching up at all. But my initial thought of like whenever they had the mom come in, I was like, okay, she's pulling her hair out randomly, and then she's like, okay, BRB, witches are coming after me. Let me just drop my baby off at this long-term orphanage. And I was like, okay, that's it. And then like it seemed like it should have been more of like a series instead of a movie because it only got good in the last 15 minutes.
So we don't want to talk about how that opening song slaps. We're not gonna.
Oh no, it's real good. It's real good. That's the only redeeming quality of this movie is that intro song. But
Then they
another thought,
overplay it throughout the
then they
whole
overplay
movie.
it way too
Yes.
much. And then I do have an issue how the matron thought that Earwig was too much of a name and then decided that Custard was good.
Yes.
Please tell me why that's like if of those two, like, and so like I thought maybe that there was going to be more to it than naming her Erica instead of Earwig, and like they don't actually like refer to her as Earwig because at the very end the scary dude was like Deerwig, and it's not even the same name.
But you mean the Mandrake?
Yeah, the Mandrake. But
Okay.
those are my initial thoughts. What about you?
So I really wanted to say that I liked the movie, but the pacing was kind of off. There were parts where it felt like the movie was dragging, like when Earwig was agreeing to be the assistant, but to what end? She wanted to magically make people do what she wanted. Like, what was that about? Then there were parts where the movie just wanted to gloss over things. Like she discovered the band, and and the three of them, the witch, her mom, and the Mandrake were in a band together, but we don't touch on that. We don't learn why they broke up. No one told her that that was her mom. The story had a lot of holes, and that's just making me say this is not a good movie. I mean, we all agree this was a bad movie. Like I feel like the movie should have chosen one thing and just stuck with it. Either the movie should have been her time at the orphanage, or the movie starts with her being adopted, and we know nothing else except that she's an orphan, and we develop from there or something. Like I just don't understand why they threw so much into the movie and the story felt like it went next to nowhere.
Yeah, because there was no character development on either side. I mean, towards the end for the witch, maybe she had character development. She was whatever, do what I want you to do. That she kind of been nice at the end, but then that doesn't with Erica, where she was a B word through the whole movie, being she was just using everybody to get what she wants.
That's why I said
And you
psychopath.
Right. You would think that towards the end of the movie, you'd be like, oh, well, she'll learn the lesson of maybe I shouldn't treat people like that. But no, she got her way at the end of the movie too. So I was like, what was the point of this?
You
She didn't learn any lessons.
You gotta understand like where she's coming from though. Like she was in her mind given up as a child, as a baby. Like somebody's like, I don't love you, go away. So why wouldn't she spend the rest of her life just trying to find love in different ways?
But she's not doing that. Where she's doing that at?
By trying to get people to do what she wants.
But she's not getting love that way. She's getting what she wants that way.
Look, man, I'm trying to play armchair psychiatrist. All right.
I'm coming up with an alternate plot though for this one. So I'm gonna go on a limb and say that the Mandrake's her dad, and then there was some drama because maybe they were in like a throuple, and like they turned out that the main witch was not actually into chicks or something, and because they said something about like you have to do something with the order of the witches and how 13 witches were coming after her or something, but then you've got this other witch that was like a spare, like what's she doing with all this? And then like they obviously went into the orphanage knowing that it was the redheaded person's daughter, right? Why would they? Because like they're like that'll do, and I was like, oh, okay, but it just didn't make any sense. And then there was a scene where like the mom and the Mandrake were like gonna make out in the car, and then the chick like hit a bump or something, and they're like, just kidding. So like, was there a romance there or is there not? If it was the father, like, wouldn't you think he would like care more? He calls her Earwig, but okay, are they gonna tell her who the redhead is? And then at the very end, whenever they show up and like the redhead's there, you could tell that it was gonna be it, like that those who was with Custard at the end, and like why did he wait so long? And it just really just doesn't make any sense. Like, is Custard actually a familiar that just took human form for a second? I want to know way more about that aspect of it. You know what I mean? Because like. Yeah. She kept calling Thomas Custard that entire time. So in my brain, I keep thinking, okay, familiar. And like with a name like Custard, you're going to name your cat Custard. You're not going to name your cat Thomas. You know what I mean?
So it's, so in an alternate theory, the mom, turned her familiar Custard into a real boy to watch over her daughter.
Yeah, so they could be right there together. So we may not see that, or he may have been added later because he's slightly younger, it seems. But then why was he with the mom? Like, why? So those are the things like I could have added way more to the plot by adding these alternate realities. Like if that was her dad, super cool. Like, would she be able to have some sort of electricity power or something? Because if she's a witch, like she obviously has some innate ability to do something. But at the same time, like you need to have something that ties it all together. Like, is she there as a foster child? Is she adopted? Like, is she on some long-term care plan? They don't go into it, and they talk about how she's like feels like she's like a slave. So is this some sort of indentured servitude? Is it that she's a weird house slave, that she's bound to this house? It didn't really quite make sense with that.
I mean, most of the movie didn't make sense, but I would like to like talk about the witch for a second and how I feel like that's really sad. Like she's a witch and her life at this point, like the only way she's getting by is by selling spells and potions to regular people. Like that is so sad.
And she's not under, but the guy she's his.
Oh yeah, the Mandrake's kind of like over her.
He does not. Yeah, he does not like her at all. So my thing is, I think he was in love with the redhead, and then he got second best, and he was just like, oh, gross. But it's just convenient. So there it is.
Right.
Because I have more sympathy for the witch than I do with anybody else on there. Because, like you said, she's, a witch, but like you said, now she's selling these. And that's another thing. I was like, when they was going through the spell book, I'm like, really? So my dog can win first place in the show and stuff like that. I'm like, this, you know a witch, and these are things that you wishing for. So she's stuck doing this kind of stuff, and then she got Mandrake yelling at her. Now you got this snotty nosed kid always up, helping out what you need her to do and everything. So I was just like, I
could understand that a little bit though, because like in Kiki's Delivery Service that was made in like the late 80s, they were saying that witches were definitely like fewer and farther between. So maybe at this point now that it's in modern times, it's that like Now it's more of like you do this like a one trick type pony thing, like which is going to be able to help you out with X, Y, and Z, and then that's all they're good for. They're not going to be like revered. They're just going to be kind of somebody that is going to give you a quick benefit and like don't do it for anything else.
So it's not like a Disney witch. It's a convenient witch.
It's a convenient witch, like somebody that can just help you, like when you wish to be like, I wish I could do this, like a modern day genie that can help you do your one wish.
Right. Okay. But now with all this material fleshed out, if there was a volume 2, I would watch it for the simple fact that maybe in volume 2, they would, be more detail oriented and answer some of these questions that we have.
It said it was based off a book. I almost want to read the book, but then I would have to read the book. So Chad, did you look at the synopsis of the book that it was based on and to see if anybody has already critiqued the difference between the two? Because that could probably answer a lot of the questions right there.
So are you guys ready to transition into trivia?
Yeah.
Let me see. Is there any more anger I need to get off my heart? No, I think we covered everything. We can transition.
Okay, so let's actually open up with the trivia game, and then we will go into like the other things that I learned about this movie, okay? So the trivia game is 2 truths and a lie. So I'm gonna read 3 movie facts about this movie, one of which is true. One of which is false, 2 are true, okay? All right. So the first one is the original book written by British author Diana Wynne, I'm guessing that's how you say her name, Wynne Jones, was the original book written by the author of this book. She also wrote Howl's Moving Castle and Kiki's Delivery Service.
All right.
Japan will get a director's cut later this year with additional scenes to help the story.
All right.
Or Hayao Miyazaki considered making this his final movie. One of those is false.
The last one, his final movie.
Yeah.
I don't think it's his final movie. So I
said considering, because I guess roll back. So his son directed this movie.
Yes. Okay.
So the first one is the author of Earwig wrote Howl's Moving Castle and Kiki's Delivery Service. The second one is Japan will get a director's cut of this movie. And the third one is Miyazaki was considering making this his final movie. One of those is false.
I'm going with the director considering his final movie is false.
I'm going to go with the second one, that Japan's going to get a cut.
That is funny. Both of you are wrong.
Dang it.
Okay, so the original book was written by Diana Jones. She wrote the Howl's Moving Castle series, and apparently there's 3 books in that series, but she did not write Kiki's Delivery Service.
Oh, boo.
Japan.
Know why? Because it's good. Kiki's Delivery Service is really good, and I think it is based on a different book.
It is based on a book.
But yeah, no, okay. Yeah.
So what more context would be, so originally, this is actually a TV movie. And so originally this aired on NHK General TV in Japan. Do you have that channel, Matt?
Mm-hmm.
This aired in Japan December 30th on television. The movie will be released theatrically in Japan on April 29, 2021. This version will include some scenes not shown on the TV version. And as for the last one, Miyazaki was considering making this his final movie. This is the quote. We're going to do How Do I Live, but Earwig is interesting too. It's a project that suits our time. We decided to let Guro, his son, do it. As a result, he provided no help. He provided no help to his son, nor did he provide any seasoned animators, and was set up with a team with no experience with 3D animation.
It shows.
So here's another fun fact. The audio book for Earwig and the Witch is 10 minutes shorter than the movie.
Okay. Maybe it's because they didn't play the song so much.
What do you guys think the IMDb for this movie is?
What's it out of?
Out of 100. So the IMDb, not the IMDb, I'm sorry, Rotten Tomatoes.
12%.
12. Okay, I don't know. 10.
33%.
Ugh, still not good.
Right.
Okay, so this movie takes place in the UK in the 90s, so close to, Kiki's in the 80s. The end credits feature a montage of still illustrations done in traditional pencil and ink style, unlike the preceding 80 minutes of CG animation. These static drawings show events that happen at the end of the movie. A similar technique was done in an earlier Ghibli movie, My Neighbor Totoro. In one of the scenes in the end credits, Earwig is watching on her brand new TV another Studio Ghibli animated movie, Howl's Moving Castle, because the author is the same author.
Makes sense.
I got 3 more fun facts for you guys, and 2 of them you guys actually care about. So the worldwide gross of this movie, theatrical gross, was $347,000 because we live in COVID times, but they still release this in theaters in some countries without HBO. In regards to there being a sequel, in his Deadline interview, in terms of his next project, Goro Miyazaki remains undecided. I've heard a lot of people who've seen this movie saying, "Are you making a sequel?" And that's a little troubling to me, the director deadpans. It took 4 years to make this film, and when you think of spending your next 4 years doing a sequel, well, it's appealing. I'm not that young. While it's appealing, I'm not that young. So I would rather spend my time doing something challenging, he adds, something new. So there will not be a sequel. Our biggest issue with this movie is that the author died before this book was finished. And basically this was an outline and her estate put it out. So that's why it feels like the movie is like missing a lot of stuff. And
Okay.
I guess out of respect for the author, he didn't make that many liberties with the story. But like, I don't understand how you couldn't see like there's so much missing from this story,
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, now that makes sense now.
So like
But
I
then
had
if
mixed
it's a bad
feelings.
product, though, if it's a bad product, like why would you even want to just put it out there? There are so many other good projects you could have done. Like if your dad is basically, yeah, no, the dude that knows how to make movies is basically like, yeah, this is terrible. Yeah, I guess you can put your name on it, but like not really. That should be like a big red flag.
He was just trying to impress his dad. I mean, he failed clearly because no one likes this movie, but
And the funny thing is, they haven't closed theaters down in Japan.
Really?
They're open.
Okay, well, you gonna go see the director's cut next month?
I can't go, but they can go.
I see.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
Japanese people only, huh?
Yep.
That's weird.
I mean, he's not. I mean, he's basically a visitor in the country,
Right. I mean, because we have where I work at, we have rules of what we can do. Like they're not banning us. Like the Japanese are not banning us. It's just where I work at. They have rules of where we can and cannot go.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I mean, it's rough times during COVID,
Right.
Yeah. So, Anna, do you have anything you'd like to plug? Because we're gonna wrap this thing up.
What do you mean?
Do you have a social media you want the people to get out there on? Or
You have an Etsy account where you're gonna be selling things at?
Yeah, you're gonna be selling your cross stitches.
No, I mean I do have an Etsy shop and all that, but that's way too much time and effort, and I'm just trying to survive at this point. So maybe come check back in a year or 5 or never. I don't know. I'll let you know.
Aren't we all just trying to survive?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
But
So
if I did start an OnlyFans page, I'll let you two know first, I promise.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, no, that's not happening.
okay, so we hope that you all rate and review the podcast on various platforms that it is on at this point in time. It's been a pleasure having you on as a guest, Anna.
Yeah, it's been fun. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So I guess we'll do this again next week. So please tune in, folks.
trying to think of a catchy catchphrase.
I saw
And I was
you.
like,
I saw you thinking in your brain here.
right. And the only thing I could think of was Ricky and Morty when he was like, he had a catchphrase on like he's like, that's not your catchphrase. He had random words in his catchphrase. That's what I kept thinking of. I was like,
Ding dong.
yeah, that's what I was thinking of. But I was like, nah, that's probably copyrighted. I don't want to say that.